Hi, thank you so much for clicking in today. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to make a special treat, and that is chocolate covered cherries. So let's get started. Okay, I have in my bowl already a 1/4 cup of butter, which has been softening overnight so that it would be nice and creamy for our project this morning. Next, we're going to add a tablespoon of milk, a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and 2½ cups of Confectioners sugar. I'm just going to press this together a little bit so that it moistens a little. That Confectioners sugar is so messy, and I try to lessen the disaster it'll cause once I get the mixer out after it. Okay, I know that a lot of people just love to use the big stand mixers, and I do too for a lot of stuff, but quick little jobs like this, it just seems silly. So I am going with a hand mixer, and I'm just going to mix this up enough to blend it a little. We don't want it to be, it's going to be very paste-like, so it's going to be very thick, so we're just going to moisten it and get it blended up together a little bit, and then I'll probably have to do the final part of just hand kneading, and that's okay. The butter has been incorporated nicely, so I'm just going to scrape the sides, do a little more mixing, and then I'll start kneading. So you can see how that butter has been incorporated into our mixture with Confectioners sugar and milk and almond extract. So now we're going to turn it out on a lightly floured surface and knead it a little bit more. So now that we've lightly floured the counter, just going to kind of spread it out to make sure we don't have any major flour clumps. And we're going to take our buttery, sugary, wonderful mixture out of our bowl and continue to knead. This is going to be such a tasty coating for our cherries underneath the chocolate. And something good for the chocolate to stick to. Okay, so our mixture is nice and smooth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to separate this into about 1-inch diameter little balls. So This would be a fun treat to make with the kiddos. The problem is they have to have lots of patience because it's kind of an all-day procedure, because you have to go through this and then later wait for them to refrigerate for some time before you can go to the chocolate step. So maybe you could do this part ahead of time and then let the kids in on the chocolate dipping later. Okay, so now that we have that step done, we are going to press each of these little balls into kind of a flat little, that one kind of got stuck. We're going to press these a little bit flat so that we can wrap this goodness around our cherries. There we go. It's about a 2-inch circle. I have covered a baking sheet with wax paper, and so now it is time to wrap our cherries and leave them to chill. I ended up with 23 of the sugary flats, so I'm going to end up with a couple of extra cherries, but I don't know about your family, but none of my kids are going to care about that at all. They're going to love having some extra cherries for ice cream sundaes or just as snacks. So we love maraschino cherries in this house. So now we're just going to take one at a time, going to take a cherry, put it in my round, and just wrap it. The dough is a little sticky because of all that gooey softened butter. Perfect. Now we're going to do the rest of them. I'm trying to really make sure that there are no holes and no creases. So we're just going to smooth over any of the seams, and if there are any air bubbles or anything that come up, we're going to press those up in so that we've got a nice spherical protected cherry. Oh, my kids are going to be so happy when they get home from school today. So, now I have all of my sugary, buttery, dough-covered maraschino cherries, and they need to be put in the refrigerator to chill for 4 hours. Okay, so this is where it gets exciting. We get to add the chocolate now to our cherries. First we have to melt it. So we have 2 tablespoons of shortening and 2 cups of chocolate chips. I'm using the semi-sweet. We're going to melt these together over a medium heat. All right, we're just stirring constantly to keep it nice and smooth and not scorching. Oh, this looks so pretty. Look at this. Okay, now that our chocolate is smooth and melty and ready to be dipped, I've brought my chilled cherries with their wonderful sugary, buttery dough. They've been chilling for about 4.5 hours now, so I've brought those in. And I have a second tray covered with wax paper in order to put the dipped cherries onto to then chill some more. Okay, I'm going to leave the chocolate on a low heat so that it will stay nice and smooth and creamy throughout the dipping process. And I'm going to use toothpicks since I opted to take the stems off of the cherries. I went with toothpicks and I will use those to hold the cherry on the stick as I dip into the chocolate and then dispose of on the final cooling rack. So let's see how well my plan works. Woo! It looks so tasty. I used a 2-quart pan when I was melting the chocolate, and I went back and forth. I couldn't decide if I wanted to use the 2 or the 1.5, and now I am regretting not using the 1.5 because it would allow for me to have a little bit more depth in my chocolate to do the dipping. This is working, but as you can see, I'm trying to cover up kind of the top where it didn't get chocolate to begin with. Don't they look tasty? So now I'm going to put these in the refrigerator and they're going to chill a little while longer and then they're going to be ready to enjoy. So, aren't these a thing of great beauty? I am so excited about our wonderful chocolate covered cherries. Thank you for joining me in making chocolate covered cherries. Now it's time to enjoy them. Marilyn approved.